Welcome back to North River TV. This is going to be the first video in a series of cheap and cheerful Chinese radio reviews. Today we have the QFX model Retro-100 AM FM table radio with Bluetooth connectivity. And I ordered this from a wholesaler on eBay. The price out the door, shipped to my house, was $33.28, and that includes shipping. So you really can't beat the price on this rig. So I figured we would give it a quick kitchen counter review here and check it out. First, I'll start off with the build quality and the fit and finish and the weight and stuff. This is not typically like a light radio that you would get from China. It is Chinese made, of course. There's the back. You can see the AC connector, and it's got a USB port for charging phones, and then a 3.5 millimeter audio jack right there. It's a fully sealed cabinet, but because you have the audio jack here and you have the USB port, I would reckon that this has a power transformer in it. So that's probably where a fair amount of the weight comes from. This is just a veneer cabinet with what I'm assuming is press board. It's only about maybe 3/16 thick. This is actually a cloth face. It's very thin cloth, and you don't want to handle it too much. It's easy to get dirty. Logo on, or this is your volume switch. Here's your on and selector, and your tuning. So that gives you a basic overview. When I pulled it out of the box, and it just came with 2 pieces of styrofoam holding it in a box, and everything is wrapped in plastic. Generally well packaged and survived the trip okay. I received this in 2 days from ordering, which was a surprise considering it had free shipping. And generally the fit and finish of this radio is not bad for cheap and cheerful Chinese. Even the knobs, I mean, if you're ham-fisted and you're going to be rough on it, you'll probably break these. But, I mean, they're not terrible. They're not like loose and flopping around. It doesn't feel bad. It certainly doesn't look bad. There's a basic overview of the features on this, and we'll turn it on. And there's no external antennas. They're just built in, both on AM and FM. One thing I will warn you right now is, even though it looks like it has an analog tuner, this is a chip-based electronic radio tuner in it, which means that even though it has an analog interface, it's all digital tuning, just without the digital readout, as you can hear as I tune across. It selects
not hereby suspended, except that entry by such nationals.
You can hear it selecting individual channels. And I've had a few Chinese radios that do this now. They don't use like a old style tuning capacitor, continuous VFO tuner. It's just everything is now chip based. A lot of people who expect a analog tuner, an old school radio like this, would probably send this back because they think it's either malfunctioning or it has poor reception. The reception on this radio is actually, it's average. Nothing to write home about. Without the digital readout, you don't really know what the exact frequency is that you're tuned to.
Fly 92.3 has a new way for
So you basically just tune it for maximum clarity and volume. That's what I found just simply works best. Not a lot of drift. It's generally an okay receiver. I have the AC cord kind of bundled up, so it's not really acting as a good antenna for FM. Just trying to find things here that won't get me a copyright hit. Well, that's not it. But
board. First time since 2003 that the Cowboys had 2 sacks in consecutive games.
2nd and 16. The handoff here. Ellington trying to fight his way back to the original line of scrimmage, bouncing off of multiple.
dial indicator's relatively accurate. It's not perfect, but it's in the ballpark. Close enough. And like I said, you just tune it basically for maximum volume and clarity. There's no specs on what size speaker is in here or its power output, but this radio does get fairly loud. I mean, it's probably a 3-inch speaker, I'm guessing, maybe 3.5, could be a 4. Doesn't produce a lot of bass, but because of the way the cabinet is designed, it's got some acoustic quality to it. Just don't expect super hi-fi out of it. Again, I mean, for what you're paying, it's not bad at all, actually. This radio rather surprised me. I was just expecting a cheap piece of junk. So far, it's been everything but. Alright, I don't gotta get off of that. That's all copyright stuff.
24/7.
But you can
complete your request online and submit.
You can hear how the tuning of these digital analog interface kind of Chinese tuners, this has that sketchy feel about them, but I'm not a big fan of them. And I've had a couple of other radios that do this too, but you can live with it. It's worse on AM. We'll switch over to AM.
Was probably here previously because remember this travel ban was just
The AM
into
tuner in
effect.
this thing
It
is
included
good if you
Sudan
live in an
just
urban
months ago,
environment,
just
if you're in the
about,
suburbs
90 days ago. So this is probably the
or
year.
in a rural area.
The problem with the Sudanese
I wouldn't
community
recommend this for good AM
is
reception.
radicalism in the Sudanese
It's
community
adequate,
like the Somali
but it has a very touchy
that does not mean that going forward
tuned RF amplifier in it. In other words, you'll be listening. If the signal goes down a little bit, it will just cut out for a minute. It's
Just wanted an appeal on a check swing, the ruling no swing by Roberto Ortiz, the umpire.
it does have a sensitive tuner, but like I said, it doesn't react well to changes in signal strength. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can hear the way it's changing. Just the volume just shoots up and down, so some people might get annoyed at that. Actually, most people would get annoyed at that. So, and this tuning is very touchy too. You gotta have a very deft touch on the knob to zero in on some of these channels.
You have to say the machines were kicking in. The Hang Seng Index poised right at the 50-day moving average. And right now we're moving a little to the downside, 27,424.
Very directional antenna, as I will demonstrate. a local station, by the way.
Losses for consumer companies.
Rivals on the court, but their brothers off the court. No.
1 ball and 1 strike. In fact, one day, off day Thursday, with his old high school.
Q5 was born to non-conform. Lease the 2018 Audi Q5 for $398 a month for 36 months at Audi of Nashua. Audi of Nashua, where price matches get back.
1-2 the count. Any waits? Only stretch it.
Like you can hear that cut in and out on unstable signal strength, but only on AM.
Say about what is going on. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys did take a knee for about 5
If you got a good
seconds
strong
before the
signal,
national anthem was played, and then both
it's
teams
a good
stood,
radio.
For the.
Send us your email so you can determine their importance. Go. Or working from home and need to keep this check.
And 100.5 FM.
Get off of that for the copyright hit.
Fires in. Nimmo has his second opposite field double of the night. And Laynat came up wearing that warning track. He just hit a flat ball. Actually slipped and went down on the grass, it looked like, right before he got to the track.
You can hear the tuning amplifier kind of kick in when it senses the signal strength is falling off. So not really stellar for DX, certainly not for casual listening on a DX channel, but
Nice double header for Lagarde. He's been on base 5 times.
some people might not like that feature. Just a forewarning. It's just the way they build these things now. Everything is all chip-based. There's really nothing mechanical in this radio anymore, other than the volume control and the switches and this control for moving the dial. That's it. Everything else is electronic now. Would have been much better with an old school capacitor in it, I think. This is out of New York City, so that's why the signal's all sketchy on here. With a stable signal, it's a very listenable radio. It's pleasant to listen to. I've had it on for a couple of hours. You don't really get a lot of listener fatigue. I really wanted to say that this was just a cheap piece of Chinese junk, but I'm really just, other than the tuner issue, which is no fault of the radio itself, it's just the way it was the way it's made. I'm really having trouble finding faults. The only thing that I didn't like was the Bluetooth connectivity. Right now, you switch it over to Bluetooth, and the indicator tells you that when it's flashing like that, it's in Bluetooth mode, and then when it goes steady, it's paired. And I have it paired up to my phone now. Pairing it was a little bit of a chore. Now the instructions will tell you that all you need to do is press this button, and it does press. You turn it to select the mode, and then you press it in to get it into pairing mode on the Bluetooth. But I couldn't get it to do it. The in this case, my phone wouldn't find it, and I was getting a little frustrated. I'm like, what is going on here? So I was trying, I'd sit here and hold it in and do another scan and nothing. I finally ended up double clicking this by accident, and it immediately showed up on my phone. So I don't know if I did something wrong. I think it's just these instructions aren't the best written. They're fairly clear in English and in Spanish, but we have Bluetooth connectivity with this, and it was one of the reasons why I kind of wanted it. So
NFL's biggest sponsors has broken its silence about the players' protest. In a statement, Nike says it supports athletes and their right to freedom of expression on issues that are of great importance to society. We check your money at 20 and 50 after each hour. I'm Bloomberg's Elisa Parenti for KNX 1070 News Radio.
Well, Los Angeles County health officials, they are trying to get the word out that mosquitoes aren't just pests. These days, you got to be careful. They could be potential killers. We'll take a closer look in 2 minutes right now.
Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flow.
Hey, Hal, we got
the more you save.
news radio out of Los Angeles on here, just so I don't get a copyright hit. Otherwise, I try to demonstrate this a little better with music. But anyhow, that's a basic overview of the QFX Retro-100 AM FM table radio with Bluetooth and the USB charging port on the back, and also line in. The Bluetooth selection on the mode selector here also selects the line-in jack on the back.
Breakthrough with Allegra 5-in-1 relief.
That was it.
Allegra works fast.
Typically you'll find this between 35 and 40 bucks, sometimes a little more, sometimes with shipping, sometimes with not. But I kind of scanned around and looked around, and I ended up getting this for $33, including shipping out the door from California. I think it came from California, I'm not sure. But I got this literally in less than 72 hours.
Credit cards, car loans,
I
whatever.
had 2 days or 2.5 days.
Mortgage interest, which may be tax deductible. Check with your tax advisor. Make the cash
It's not
call
bad.
at 877
It's not bad.
And in
I
about
think
5 minutes,
on
we'll tell you what your home's current value
1
looks like.
to 5 star rating, I'd probably give this
So
a
make
3
the cash call
to
at
3.5.
877-890 cash.
Hard to
and take
find
advantage
fault
of
with
our
it,
fixed rate
especially
APR
at this
as low as
price point.
2.99%. So call
QFX
and get
Retro
the news that'll
100.
make you smile.
This is volume 1 or episode 1, I guess, of our cheap and cheerful Chinese radio review series here on North River TV. So thanks for watching.